At the three discussions of Emerald I attended, I heard a lot of new perspectives of things I hear a lot about in the news. At my second Emerald discussion, we talked about celebrity culture and the effects it has on people, particularly the females in the room. A major focus was the unrealistic lifestyles and the effects of the culture of celebrities on young people. Young people constantly look up to celebrities that they see on social media. This can create insecurity in young people with unrealistic body standards. We also talked about our opinions on celebrities getting involved in politics and expressing their opinions on social issues. Most people in the room agreed that celebrities are not obligated to share their opinions on these issues, but should not be shamed or taken less seriously for expressing their opinions. An example we focused on was LeBron James speaking on politics and Fox News anchor Laura Ingraham telling James to shut up and dribble. We discussed how this was a bit hypocritical of Fox News to criticize celebrities for talking about politics when the president that they support was a celebrity prior to his presidency. This discussion was interesting because we focused on like how the effects of celebrity endorsements and the importance of celebrities in young people's lives, and like how these people that young kids look up to um, can really like change their perspective on things. At my last Emerald discussion, we talked about police brutality. This Emerald discussion was a lot more serious and difficult to listen to. I myself have never faced any sort of confrontation with the police, but as I listened to other voices in the room, I learned that is a perfect example of white privilege, which we talked about a lot in T250. They showed a video of Philando Castile, a African American man who was a victim of police brutality, and it was extremely hard to watch. In the video, Castile reaches for his license and registration and follows the police's instructions perfectly, and the police shot him in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. The only way to describe this video was heartbreaking. After watching the video, the entire room was silent for probably 2 minutes. No one had really anything to say. It was like everyone in the room was at a loss for words. Eventually, an African American student told a story of his own experience with police brutality and a confrontation he ran into with the police in Detroit. He said the police officer approached his car, and when he tried to cooperate, the police officer shot into his car multiple times. Fortunately, nobody was injured or harmed in any way, but this was still a horrifying story to listen to. And as we continued to hear other voices in the room, it shocked me to the core. One student, an international student from Barbados, talked about how different American police culture is compared to life at home. In Barbados, he said there was no fear of police and he never noticed any targeting of African Americans or anything like that. He also said since coming to school here, he feels the tension between African American students and police officers every day. He talked about an experience one of his friends had with a police officer because a police officer approached him on a bike and accused him of stealing it and threatened to arrest him for doing absolutely nothing except for go to class on his bike. Another international student said that in her home country, they would see things that happen in America and the issue of police brutality, and it never made sense to her because police were supposed to be someone to make people feel safer, not more in danger. It's interesting seeing the way American culture seems to differ from other countries. And though this discussion was difficult to listen to because of the terrible things people of color face in our country, it was very eye opening trying to understand and comprehend what people of color think of police brutality, especially because I'm from such a highly white populated town. I really enjoyed going to the Emerald discussions because I heard the voices and perspectives of people I would have never encountered otherwise, and these discussions really opened my eyes to like another culture that I'm not familiar with, and it changed my like the way I perceive like American culture.